Ang laki kaya ng utang na loob ko sa swimming. Doon ako nagsimula, lumaki, at natuto sa buhay. Sabi nila, kaya nila ako pinasok sa swimming para daw hindi ako mapabarkada. Hindi kami mayaman. Simple lang ang buhay. Swimming, eskwelahan, bahay. Yun lang yung buhay ko.
Well, we were developing the idea of the campaign based on the Partnership for Life. So as we were shooting the initial commercial for it, me and my clients were actually having lunch during the lunch break period. And, we tossed around the idea of why don't we create stories about the ambassadors and telling stories about, about their lives that's not been told yet, which would emphasize the idea of their partnership or their partners for life.
This campaign was very different conceptually from any other kind of advertising campaign that we've ever done because the campaign is more structured like a documentary than it is an advertising campaign. It was very important for us that the ambassadors trusted us. It was very important for us that the brand also trusted us. One of my core beliefs is that there are no uninteresting stories. If just with the right storytelling, you can find you can make any uninteresting story feel compelling as long as it's honest and genuine. And then these people have all lived very interesting lives. It was our job to make sure that we told it honestly and in a way that not only tied up with the brand, but also was very true to their own sentiment and their own life experiences.
Well, visually, they're all distinct, no? But I think the messaging is the one that ties them together. I mean, the idea of them identifying who their lifetime partners are. In the case of Enchong, it was his coach. Matteo is his grandfather in the family. Iñigo and Piolo is the both of them, and then Charo with her husband. No? But the one that links it together is actually the idea of these partners makes life better if you have a good lifetime partner.
Prepping and we were conceptualizing the film, we had to first of all tie it into the entire campaign, which is lifetime partners. So we had to make it very clear, particularly in Mateo's case, who his lifetime partner was or is, right? And in the lengthy interviews that we conducted prior to shooting, so when we were talking with him, what really came out in the context of the family bond was really his nono or his grandfather. His grandfather was the one that set the tone for his family that we all stick together. When we were prepping now to get into the shoot phase, to our surprise, they had a whole treasure trove of memorabilia. Like he kept all his racing trophies, so he has this trophy room and it's like the whole wall is all of his accolades of racing. Mateo's very young, okay? So I also wanted to make sure that youthfulness, and the way he talks is he's like a friend, when you hear him talk, and I always wanted to make sure that he talked the way that we were talking in the interview. The idea hit me like, why don't I frame him like a vlog? Why don't I depict his story like a vlog, which also is very youthful?
Enchong's story to begin with was very unique. I mean, he was basically a swimmer. So the idea was the texture of the film would be water. For Piolo and Iñigo, the texture of the film we decided in the onset is stage because both of them are performers and actors. Charo, on the other hand, her life story spans over a long period of time, and the idea of using archival footage to tell her story was the main idea. So to differentiate to make the timeline clearer, I decided to shoot photograph Charo in black and white, and then as we cut back to the archival photos, that's the colorful idea of her life. No? So hence we used colored photos of the past and the present being black and white. So it gave it a very interesting texture. I also had to convince Charo to go outdoors because the common perception of Charo is that she's in a studio, seated down, very well made up. I mean, it's, you know, that's that's a common persona. So I persuaded her to go outdoors. So she's very used to the, you know, to take her out of that MMK mold and bring her and, you know, photograph her in a new light. At one point, she was saying that, you know, it's the MMK of her life. and MMK did not use her story, but Sun Life used her story. So it's a very ironical situation.
The films are very diverse, but there's really a common thread that links them all. I mean, stylistically, they're also very different. From Enchong to Piolo and Iñigo to Charo and to Matteo. No? It was intentional on our part to make sure that the films had different textures and different feelings. We had to make sure that it all tied into the larger campaign, which is lifetime partners. So that's the thread that links everything together. Despite the uniqueness, all of them mention towards the end of the film, my lifetime partner. And I think despite the diversity and the uniqueness, that's what brings the entire campaign together, is that we're showing real people, even though they're celebrities, that they have these honest, real stories about who their lifetime partners were that affected them and made them the people that they are today.